located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Wicks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership right on the price, right off I-57.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Gina King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Caraway. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
Ask Melissa Walden about Shelter's auto, home, and life options. Call or text at 618-937-2092. Melissa Walden, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Contact Power Wash Plus for a free quote on all your residential or commercial pressure washing needs. Professionally operated and fully insured. Call Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505 for more information. That's Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505.
Howell Insurance is a proud sponsor of Redbird Athletics. Serving West Frankfort since 1925, we provide auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Howell Insurance partners with Auto Owners Insurance Company to handle insurance the right way, the human way. Call Ryan, Jessica, or Susan Patton at 937-4000. Experience a taste of Mexico at La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant. We have the best food and drinks for the whole family to enjoy. See you tomorrow, amigos.
The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds. McDonald's, family owned and operated. Moreland McDonald's has 21 locations to serve you.
People's National Bank has been serving the communities of Southern Illinois since 1909. We believe that great customer service along with a wide variety of products will meet all of your banking needs. Come in and check us out today. People's National Bank, member FDIC. The West Frankfort Aquatic and Activity Center are proud partners of Redbirds Live. Come check out our heated indoor swimming pool, fitness center, and basketball gym. Stop by for a visit, or you can contact us at 618-937-1665. All right, we welcome you guys in to Redbirds Live, live from Bill McKee Field in West Frankfort. Today's baseball matchup between the West Frankfort Redbirds and the Trico Pioneers. I'm Garrett Smith. I'm joined by Quincy King here. Tell me with today's call.
It's going, Garrett. Running in some baseball games early here, and Redbirds not looking too bad to start their season. Rough game against, Karma to start out, but, following it back up with a win, 5-3 against Sparta, and looked really good in that game, and looking to bring some nice action today.
Yeah, that win definitely doesn't look too bad for Frankfort right now. Sparta ended up going and winning against Ziegler Royalton. Um, um, Outside of that loss to Frankfurt, but so that's a good win there. They got stormed out yesterday at Centralia. Game was just getting going early, so not enough to be a full contest, and don't expect a reschedule there. But the Redbirds look for their first home win as they sit at 1-1 on the season, and Trico comes in 0-2. But man, have they played some good teams to start? You played uh, Carbondale and Murfreesboro to start your season. That's not exactly a cakewalk, and both those teams beat up on Trico, so they're looking to you know get their first victory under their belt. We thank you guys for tuning in here in the pregame show, brought to you by Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies. Also down the road from here, the Redbirds softball will be getting going here soon against Pope County, and Frankfort softball off to a good start, beating Woodlawn opening day 8-3 in an 18-1 victory over Carbondale, and they sit at 2-0 going into today's game against Pope County, and we will try to get you some updates as that game goes. But combined 3-1 start to the season uh, for the baseball and softball teams.
Yeah, I expected a lot from softball this year with Jim Pearsall's group. It's they usually got a pretty good team down there. They got a lot of key players who are starting to get more varsity time, and going into this season, I think they're going to have a pretty good year. And you know, I- just looking at schedule, there's a lot of games that they can win, take home, and I like their season when you get down late going into the postseason. It looks like they could rack up a few wins and get hot going into postseason play, trying to make something happen there. Pretty good start for Frankfurt Sports when you got combined 3-1 both teams, and both looking up from here on out.
Let's get to the keys to the game. That's brought to you by Weeks in West Frankfort, right on the price, right off 557. It's the Weeks keys to the game. Quincy, what should Frankfort really hone in on here today to find a way to win?
Yeah, I really think early in the season you got to look at your defense. The game's 80% defensive. You have a good defense behind your pitcher. It's hard to lose once you're going on the field every day. I really say you got to start playing. Your key today is have a good defensive game. Don't let anything easy go by you. Errors and stuff like that. That's game killers if you're in close games and stuff. So you gotta really hound down on your defensive efforts play today. Other than that, just try to play a clean defensive game, and I think you'd have a good shot at winning today.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that, and we'll jump to the other side of the ball. I think it's important, just take good quality at bats. I think early on, you said, defense is important, especially early to get, some stability there. But that goes for any team playing. And put the ball in play. Let's see if Trico, fumbles the ball around and, can't make some plays. And it's hard to win if you're not putting in play. It's hard to score. It's hard to hit. Walks are great, but when you put it in play, good things happen. And I think that's another thing Frankfurt can do, just on the opposite side of the field.
And, try to get to first base, right? I mean, I think that should be a good mindset for a lot of players in high school ball. Really a good mindset for them to go up to the plate with. If I can just get to first base, keep the line moving. You know, you have a lot of success when you have mentalities like that. It's the kind of times where you have someone go up there with a plate appearance and they're trying to hit 5 6 run plays with one swing of the bat, and it obviously cannot happen. You got to go up there, and I think good mentality is just try to get to first,
All
just try to
right,
get on.
let's get you the starting lineups. That's brought to you by Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, and we will begin with the Trico Pioneers coming in 0-2 on the season. Leading off, shortstop, number 12, Mason Cranowetter, batting second. Behind the plate, number 23, Bean Cone, batting third. In center field, number 7, Ty Dorner. In the cleanup spot at first base, number 33, Cannon Wilson. Batting fifth at third base, number 18, Kyler Bowerman. The sixth spot at second base, number 35, Caden McBride. Batting seventh, left field, number 11, Caden Starkey. Batting eighth on the rubber, number 13, Brian Kobus. And batting ninth in right, number 22, Donovan Jimenez. So it'll be Cranowetter, Cone, Dorner, Wilson, Bowerman, McBride, Starkey, Kobus, and Jimenez 1 through 9 there for Trico. Now for Frankfort, leading off in center field, number 3, Cam Joyner. Batting second. Left field, number 2, Chase Patterson. Batting third at short, number 1, Hayden Mitten. In the fourth spot at third base, number 4, Eric Duncan. Right in the middle of the order in the 5. At first, number 6, Will Scales. Hitting sixth in right field, number 11, Deacon Webster. Batting seventh at second base, number 8, Chris Samples. Batting eighth, designated hitter number 19, Decaden Sneathen. And batting ninth, catcher number 12, Jace Bennett. And not in the lineup, being hit for will be on the mound, number 5, Ethan Odom. It's Joyner, Patterson, Mitten, Duncan, Scales, Webster, Samples, Sneathen, and Bennett with Odom on the rubber. For Coach Ty Smith. And those are your starting lineups. Brought to you by Sam C. Mitchell and Associates. And Frankfurt's had some good pitching performances already this year. They had a good one the other day. Eric Duncan started and got the win the other day with Sneathen coming in relief, but I really didn't think Chase Patterson threw bad opening day. His defense let him down, but he threw the ball pretty well.
Yeah, first game jitters. I think to open a season, really what it is. You're coming in, you haven't played ball in a whole year, and for some of these kids, and you come into this game, and this is the first time you're seeing live action, live defensive plays for a while now. So yeah, and he made some good pitches. There's a lot of good pitches, that are pretty close to the zone. I think he got kind of snuffed on a little bit, but he made good pitches, and I think his stuff was working just fine. I think that would do him good the rest of the season if he could pitch like he did Monday, if not better.
Now Ethan Odom gets the ball here today, and I think I like the move of him not being in the lineup. He can focus just on going out there and throwing the ball.
Yeah, it's like a mindset thing. He don't have to worry about going to the plate and try to make something happen there. And especially when you get guys having to, worry about pitching, going to the plate, they're say, they go up to the plate, have a bad experience, it might translate to the mound. And, that's not what you want for a team. He could focus on going out there, trying to get strikes, make strikes, and put the ball where the defense can make good plays.
And we are underway down the road between Frankfurt softball and Pope County. We're just in the top of the first, and the leadoff hitter flies out to left. But it always seems like that one gets going earlier, and well, in this case, on time. Frankfurt was near the baseball game. Monday started a handful of minutes late. It's a little behind schedule here, as we've still got to get to the national anthem, have our coaches and umpires meeting out at the plate. Looks like we're set for that right now, and sometimes we're waiting on umpires, and luckily we didn't wait today near as long as we have in the past. But it's good to be in the booth. It's a nice day. It started out, pretty chilly, and a lot of cloud coverage, but the sun's peeking through. I'm sure it'll be in and out of today's game, but good day for baseball.
Yeah, for sure. I was debating whether or not it was a sweatshirt kind of day, but I was like, we'll go with the t-shirt, and it paid out good for me. And that's the thing about like it seems like with baseball too. It's like you saying, kind of seems like it gets going a little later, kind of takes its time, and I think that's like one of the beauties of the game. It's kind of one of those things where it's on its own time period, really, and it gets going when it really gets going. It's one key about softball too. If got a really cold day and you have to go down there and watch a game, it usually gets done pretty quick.
Yeah, we ran for a while the other day, and we didn't play a full seven. And if we would have, I think we would have been north of 3 hours on the game. But it seemed like the game over at Sparta, we weren't able to make it over there, but we were able to follow along as it went. And Frankfurt really cleaned it up defensively, and let's hope they can continue that today. But looking forward, we got JV tomorrow. We will not have that coverage. A week from tomorrow, JV, we will here on Redbirds Live. I believe they'll be playing Pinckneyville that Saturday morning into the afternoon with around 11 o'clock first pitch. And then next week, the day prior to that, only one varsity game next week at home. That will be Chester next Friday. So broadcasts next Friday and Saturday. Friday against Chester with the varsity. Saturday JV against Pinckneyville. But if you can, make it out tomorrow and watch the junior varsity take on Cesar Valier. We haven't brought them up yet, but we watched their game the other day, and JV looked pretty good against Vienna in a 3-2 win.
Yeah, they definitely did. They surprised me a lot. Kind of coming into it and kind of had a mindset, junior varsity baseball, but they played really well out there, and I think it's a pretty bright spot for Coach Smith and the future of the Redbirds. You got a lot of players out there who seems like they can play some baseball. A lot of them freshmen, so they got some time.
Alrighty, it's time for the national anthem. Pause, let that play through, and come back and give you Redbird baseball here on Redbirds Live. Alrighty, about time for some baseball here from Bill McKee Field here at Frankfort Community Park. In West Frankfort, the Redbirds look for their first home victory as they come in 1-1. As they take on the 0-2 Trico Pioneers here in this early season matchup. And um, Frankfort looks to get settled in here at Bill McKee, and it's a place that Frankfort's struggled the other day out there on that field. A lot of guys playing their first time. We see a lot of the same names in there again. The lineup pretty consistent in terms of the what we saw the other day. But let's see if some guys can fall into their role and figure out that you don't have to try to do everything. That's why they got a whole team out there. And the same with Ethan Odom. You don't have to necessarily strike out the world here. Uh, balls, we saw something with Chase Patterson the other day. A lot of soft contact, and that should get it done if you're able to, produce lazy fly balls and some weak ground balls.
Yeah, I mean, if you can high school baseball, you can go up there and you can hit spots correctly. Don't leave anything too pretty, really down the middle of the plate. I mean, you're gonna get guys out. I mean, you put them in play. You just let your defense do the work. You got to have a good defense behind you if you not throwing 90 miles an hour in high school baseball. But all you got to do is you got to put in the play. You got to make pitches. Uh, you just got to be smart up there. Don't put any don't put any pitches where you wouldn't put them in a bad count. 0-2s. Don't put a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Just kind of just basic things like that. I think is really just kind of a key mindset to go up there pitching in high school.
We will see, and it's important. Limit the walks, limit the free passes here, and make guys beat you. If they're going to beat you. You want them hitting the ball, and Frankfurt didn't give up a lot of hits opening day, and still ended up short side of that score. There's a lot of balls, fumbled around, but that's the best thing about baseball is that you get a whole lot of games, so quick turnaround, and it's pretty easy to forget the bad ones pretty quickly, and I think that's the mentality you have to have. Odom will face Mason Cranowetter, and he's over at short for Trico. And here we go. Odom's first pitch, ball outside. And that one got away from Bennett. It's important to be able to squeeze that two back there because a lot of times, even if it's right down the pipe, if you drop that, some umps have said they care where it's at. If you drop it, I'm not calling it a strike.
Yeah, I've heard stuff like that before. It's definitely you wanna catch that ball and try to make it look somewhat nice in there.
It's quickly 2-0 to Cranowetter. Odom going to fight back in the count. Strike one. A little delayed. We had a quicker called strike call last home game, so I was waiting for it because it definitely was. But back in it, it's 2-1, and now it's 3-1. He overthrew that one. It bounced over near the left-handed batter's box, and it's 3-1 count. I want to walk the leadoff man.
Well, this is a guy right here. He really should be just trying to go after, trying to see what he can do.
And ball four, he did the same thing. Well, the good thing is the adjustment you need to make. All of his misses have been to the outside to a righty, and three of them were spiked into the ground, so or a couple of them were. So the adjustment. You're just overthrowing a tad, and you'll find that better release point. Runner at first, ball inside, and it gets away from Bennett. Runners down to second. So 1-0 the count to Cone, the catcher, who steps in. Some location issues early on in this one from Odom, and it takes time to settle in. We've seen guys you know, have command issues early on and then just get it going, and that's a real thing. There's pitchers that struggle more times than not in the first compared to other innings. That's why even if a run gets across or something, you got to limit the damage, and you don't want that number getting too big. Cone ready for the 1-0, and it's ball two or fouled off. 1-1. Runner leads from second is Cranowetter, who reached on a five-pitch walk. He's back in the zone, and this is popped up near short. Mitten running out on the grass, glove up, makes the grab, one down, and he gets back and gets weak contact for an early out. Good job to work back in it.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays we're going to be needing on our defensive end to continue out throughout the game, have a good defensive game. It was weak contact, it was pop fly shortstop, and come down with a catch on and got one out.
Here's Dorner. Ty Dorner steps in, the center fielder. Runner's heading for third. A great jump, and he's going to have it. And that went out of play. You get one base from where you were if it goes out. So we're waiting here. He was breaking for third. And he's going to have home with it going out of play. And, someone might think the batter has to get out of the way, but he actually has the right to that box and he needs to stand still. So getting out of the way would only potentially uh, make interference come into play. So him just holding his ground there is really what you should do. And good job there by Dorner not to try to jump back. 'Cause if he does jump back and the ball ends up hitting him, it's up the umpire's discretion whether or not it's interference. And just standing there, it's black and white that it's not. So the run gets to come home. And that ball's in the dirt low. An odd start to this one.
Unfortunate, unfortunate event that could occur in a moment like this.
Swing and a miss. It's fouled into the glove. Makes the count 1-2 on Dorner. Nobody on. 1-0 Trico. Off speed, up and away. Count runs even. And that's strike three. Outer edge. Looked awkward as Odom missed his spot, so Bennett wasn't able to frame it that well, but still caught enough of the plate to ring up Dorner, and Cannon Wilson will step in. Big first baseman, left-handed hitter here with 2 outs, nobody aboard here in the top of the first. Trico Pioneers leading at 1-0. Swing and a miss. And I believe that's Trico's first run scored on the season. They lost to Murfreesboro and Carbondale. Not sure which was which, but one score was 11-0 and the other was 10-0. And this was ball one way over the head.
What a way to score your first run.
Way over the head of Bennett. Odd. I don't think we'll see something like that again this year. And it happens in game 2. 1-1 here. Like we said, it's okay. You give up the one, and now Wilson's hit by the pitch. You got to keep it at 1. You can't get more than this, and you want your hitters to come up at least first try and not feel like they're already deep in a hole. Kyler Bowerman will step in, third baseman, with Wilson leading at first. First pitch, swing and a miss. Got to find that command here. And, if you got to work with just 1 or 2 pitches to do it, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to cut back on some of the the off speed or breaking balls, and it's got to be simple pitches here. And this ball on the pickoff attempt gets away, and it's going to be 2 bags. Wilson over to third after being hit by pitch and advancing on a 2-base error. Not a pretty start for Frankfort, yet they trail it just 1-0. They're in the top half of the first. And Odom struggled throwing strikes. He's had a couple go to the backstop, and there's another one. And it should be another run. It's 2-0. One is the count. Runners both score on the ball just getting away from the two who should be playing catch with it. Chopped out, third base line. Odom's there to field, fires the first, and he's out by a couple of steps.
It just really hurts. Those 2 runs really didn't came from anything that Trico did. It's kind of stuff we did to ourselves.
Something we saw the other day with Frankfurt and Carmi, but it's 2-0. Trico Pioneers through a half inning of play. Frankfurt coming to bat after a short break.
Ask Melissa Walton about Shelter's Auto, Home, and Life options. Call or text at 618 937 2092. Melissa Walton, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
So they're in that top half. Trico is able to score 2 runs on no hits and 1 error. And a couple of balls, fastballs / wild pitches there in there as well to really let some runners move up. But that's tough, especially that second one. 2 outs, nobody on base, and he gets hit by a pitch and then advances home without a ball being put in play.
Yeah, I mean it's really tough, and like I said earlier, now kind of our guys are gonna have to come up to bat here, already down 0-2, and it kind of stinks because it's kind of things that you did yourself in that first half inning, and you never want to go down your first at bat and you're already down anything, down 2-0. It's you got to come back, but you can't win a ball game not scoring any runs. So kind of look at it as we got to put some runs on the board anyway. So let's get after it.
And they lead off walk for their Krennewetter before they got 2 guy Bo Cone to pop out after falling behind and the count to him, and then a runner comes in before striking out Dorner. I mean, if you don't let guys move up, Trico probably doesn't get on the board there. You were able to strike out the 3-hitter before Wilson was hit by a pitch, and then Bowerman grounded out. Softly down the third base line. Cam Joyner leads it off for Frankfurt in the bottom half of the inning, and he is hit on the first pitch. That's one gift that Frankfurt's going to take for sure. It's early. Runner on base, and we'll see how Brian Kobus, Trico's starting pitcher, pitches out of the stretch and already with some traffic, and we'll see if he's able to control the run game, which Carmi did Monday very well and kept Frankfurt runners honest. We'll see if Frankfurt's able to run on this battery here for Trico. First pitch going nowhere, and a slow dribbler towards first, fielded, and he's going to be out. No, he's safe at first. Patterson's able to get there. Looked like Trico was able to get to the bag first, but bang bang call goes Frankfurt's way. And 2 pitches in, and Frankfurt's got 2 runners on. Hayden Mitten steps up. Now you're in the spot. Frankfurt's got to do something. First pitch, ball 1, low. It's got to be low because it wasn't anywhere else. uh, other than right over the plate, just too low. 1-0 count here to Hayden Mitten. He's in that 3 spot. So high hopes for Mitten to be one of their main run producers this season. Pitch on the way. That's slowly grounded towards third. Fielded, bobbled, throw, and Mitten is safe at first.
I mean, we'll definitely be taking what we have seen in this first inning. Some crazy ways to get to first base. Just get to first.
We thought Monday's game was long. We might be in for a long one here today if it keeps going like this. Here's Eric Duncan, the winning pitcher on Tuesday at Sparta. Ball up and in on Duncan. And he had a good hit ball on Monday here at Bill McKee. It ended up being a double over towards right center. It'd be nice to have right about now. Ball up over Duncan's head as he dodges out of the way. He got 2-0, but typically 2-0, it's a good hitter's count. But the way that Cobus has struggled, I might take a strike here in this at bat with the bases loaded.
Yeah, 2-0, no outs. It's a right there, ball three and 3-0. The classic. You don't take one here. You take one here. Definitely see he can't throw a strike right now.
Bases loaded in this spot. Sometimes you take two, make him really come back and earn his way back into the count. Don't go reaching for anything not there. And ball 4 high, and Frankfurt is on the board. The first 4 have reached, and that's why it was important to limit that damage in the top half, because now the Redbirds are trying to do some of their own. Will Scales will step in. Base is still loaded and still none out. It's a good response, and we said it earlier, put balls in play. Frankfurt's hit a couple of weak ground balls, got hit by a pitch and got walked on 4 pitches. But those 2 ground balls, Trico's had trouble with.
Yeah, I mean that's all you got to do. You put stuff in play and you find a way to get to first. Good things happen. It's just how the game is.
And that pitch nearly hit Scales on the hands. 1-0. And this is exactly what Ethan Odom could have, all he could have asked for here. Frankfurt getting right back in it right away. And this one's low, ball 2. And when you're missing, you don't get some of them close calls. And with how Cobus is going, I think he definitely needs to take a pitch. We'll see the approach here for Scales. Pitch on the way. He's taken right down the middle. Strike 1.
Yeah,
Get me over fastball there to get back in it.
yeah. And, I think it was smart to take one there. He's throwing 5 in a row, straight balls. Finally threw a strike.
And this is ball 3 and a nice block to prevent a run from coming home by Cone. But it goes to 3-1. You might see another take here, Quincy.
I think if I was out there, I'd be telling my kids to take one.
3-1 to Scales. Cobus has to come to him. Bases loaded, nobody retired, and that is strike 2. Scales is ready to trot down to first. Waiting on deck, Deacon Webster. Scales with a full count. Pitch on the way. Swing and just got a piece to foul it off. Live score update from down the road. I'd say it's a nice start. There's 6 runs in the bottom of the first for the Lady Redbirds or Frankfurt softball. 6-0 early in that one. Coach Pearsall's got his team ready to go this year. They have some good defense down there. They should. Still early, but they should be able to get to 3-0. Good start for Coach Pearsall and his bunch. That is strike 3, outer edge. and that's one you can't leave out there in a full count because the plate or the zone typically will, grow a smidge there when you got a 3-2 count and Scales is rung up.
Yeah, where that pitch was located, and you gotta try to put something on it, foul it off or something, get you another pitch, because it was gonna be called a strike all day.
Webster steps in, 1 out, ball 1 in on the hands. 2-1, Trico Pioneers over the West Frankfort Redbirds. We're just getting going here in the bottom half of the first. Bases loaded for Webster. Fouls one up. That was above his shoulders. Out of play. That was a gift there for Kobus, or else he would have fell behind again to another hit or 2-0.
It seems like that's been a thing with Deacon, and
His eyes light up when he sees
yeah,
that high fastball coming in.
anything up, he's swinging at it.
Patterson, Mitten, and Duncan on the bags out there for Frankfurt. They look to tie it up. Webster, strike 2, taking. On deck is Chris Samples, the Redbird second baseman. Frankfurt had nobody out and 3 on. One came in on a walk, and now since then nothing. And this one's hit back to the pitcher, and that is going to be one at the plate, a force. The Redbirds still just 1 run across, and now 2 outs for Samples coming up. Now this will sting if you know how that half inning went in the top, and then you're not able to tie it back up at a minimum because it feels like you should be up in this game about 2-3 runs right now with what Trico's been able to give you in the field and on the mound. Strike 1 to Samples.
Yeah, I mean, bases loaded when you had, no outs, you'd be thinking, let's get 4 or 5 runs out of this, at least 2 or 3. It would be terrible to end this on 1 run.
This is in the dirt, but blocked enough by Cone to limit the runners at their respective base. Stays loaded for Samples in the count 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way. This one's low and blocked again. 2-1, and he's spiked a couple in a row. Has Kobus here. In the bottom half of a long first inning. Scheduled for a 4:30 first pitch. We are at 5 o'clock in the bottom of the first. Pitch on the way, and it's up. Too tall for Chris Samples. They're in the right-handed batter's box, and it's a 3-1 count. And he's a smart hitter, so Kobus really has to throw a good pitch here, you would think. The Samples in the box. He's swinging. It gets over to short, fielded clean, and the throw to first is in and out of the glove, and we are tied at 2. Frankfurt's put 3 weak ground balls in play, and all 3 of them have went to their favor. Samples hitting that slow roller allows a tying run to come in. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, you put it in play, and if they're not going to take advantage of what we gave them, we got to take advantage of it ourselves.
And it looked like Cranwetter that time rushed the throw. It's good, had Samples beat, but threw it into the ground. And Sneathen, ground ball back towards the middle. It is fielded, and everyone is safe. Runs coming home again. Cranwetter, nice job moving to his left to knock that ball down, but by the time he hopped up, there was not a play anywhere as Samples was able to rush down to second base, and Webster over to third. Sneathen reaches on an infield single. Here's Jace Bennett stepping in. 3-2 Redbird lead. Bennett fouls one back to the screen. 0-1.
This is what I really like seeing last 2 hitters, coming up, first pitch swinging, really coming up there looking like they're wanting to hit the ball, and put something in play, try to get some runs in.
And you got a pitcher out there who's just trying to find the zone. So he's going to try to, just get something in there, easy, maybe not throw his full velocity, and you can try to ambush him, and that's what they did. And Bennett chops it one way up and away, 0 and 2. Still, maybe not full arsenal here for Cobus pitching with that runner still at third. Potential of spiking one going to the backstop, but you have more than you normally would, and this one's outside, ball one. 1-2 count to Chase Bennett, who's behind the plate today. We saw him play a couple different spots the other day, and we said he's one of them platoon or the utility guys that's going to play all over. Bennett slaps one third base side out of play. He's fighting to stay in there, and the more pitches you force Cobus to throw, the better off you probably are. He's going to eventually, miss one out of the zone if you can keep fouling him off until he either gives you a good one to hit or he ends up putting you on base. Cobus now up to 29 pitches here in the first. Pitch on the way outside again. Check down on Webster down at third. He's going to retreat back to the bag. 3-2 Redbirds, 2-2 count, 2 down here in the bottom of the first, leading the Pioneers of Trico. Cobus. Pitch on the way outside, and it is full. Runners will be off on this next pitch. At least they should be, anyways, early in the year. You never know. Some miscommunication, but you would think all three guys are off here. Bennett asks for time and steps out. Back into the box. Cobus. Foot on the rubber, looking in for his sign, ready to go. Big pitch here. Frankfurt already leading at 3-2 with the bases juiced. Pitch on the way. Ball four. Everyone's going to advance. And how about the at bat from Bennett? Fell behind quickly 0-2 and is able to draw a walk. Pitch count north of 30 for Cobus, and it's a 4-2 Redbird lead.
Man, you gotta like, I'm glad we talked about something coming. They definitely didn't leave it a one-run game for West Frankfurt. It got up to 4 runs.
Yeah, and it looked like it could have been just a one-run inning, like you said, and scoring three with 2 outs. Good job executing, and back to the top. And Joyner nearly had the same thing happen to him that what happened in the first at bat where he was hit. This one goes over his head for ball one. He's gonna take a good at bat. He's always has good quality at bats for the most part for Coach Smith. And this one's outside 2-0. And you'd think Trico's gonna have to start at least getting that arm loose to some extent. Cobus up to 30, 34 pitches already, and he's fell behind here again 2-0. And this one's behind Joyner 3-0. I think you're definitely taking 2 pitches now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he can't hit the spot right now, and you take two because the chances of him throwing the ball are pretty high.
By taking two, you're making him have to throw you 3 strikes. You got to throw you two, and then that third pitch as well. And this one's just in the dirt. Ball 4 on 4 pitches. It's 5-2. I expect at least a mound visit here. And that is what we will have, a slow walk out. We'll see if it's to calm the nerves or if we're making a change here in the early going. But this mound visit brought to you by Power Wash Plus. Greg Chanson Power Wash Plus. All your pressure washing needs. Power Wash Plus in West Frankfurt with this mound visit. And this thing's flipped on its head here real early, Quincy. A 2-0 deficit, and the Redbirds didn't seem too frustrated. And sometimes when you fall behind, you try to get too aggressive. Frankfurt was real patient, and they've cashed in.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you expected and what you wanted. You get someone, you take advantage of a pitcher not throwing his strikes, and throwing you a lot of balls, and you put five runs on them in the first inning. It feels really good to be a Redbird right now.
Update from down the road. 8-0. Frankfurt softball on top of Pope County in the bottom, or just now through 2 innings. So we head to the third down there. Frankfurt baseball on top 5-2 against Trico. And they will make that change. Mason Cranowetter will come in to pitch after Cobus retires just 2 hitters here in the first, and the command was an issue from the start for him. And we saw the same thing with Odom for Frankfurt, but he was able to kind of get it under control, and was okay with allowing a run or two, but uh, never able to recover on this other side from Cobus and Trico, and so we'll see a new pitcher.
Yeah, watching this new pitcher for Trico warm up, it looks like he has a little bit better control than the last one had, and it still looks like he's kind of over the place. He had some movement on a breaking ball, and that might give Frankfurt some trouble.
Chase Patterson will step in, and yeah, you know, uh, Cobus still responsible for them 3 runners out there as well. His final line here in a minute, but as Patterson steps in, first pitch, ground ball back up the middle, and it's through. 1 run is in. Center fielder charges. He bobbled it, and a second run's easily going to score. Frankfurt's put up 7 on Trico here in the first. Chase Patterson hunting on the first pitch and right back up the middle. And then it was bobbled by Dorner, and there was never going to be a play after that at the plate. Now it's Hayden Mitten stepping in. Frankfurt's trying to really pile it on here in the first. Mitten hits the hole out in the left. Coming up firing towards the plate. It is cut off, and they play station to station. Single from Mitten to left, and yeah, maybe too much control. He's serving it up, and 2 pitches and 2 base hits for Frankfurt. They've got 4 hits here in the first, and different mindset with this pitcher throwing strikes. Now you're trying to turn it into batting practice here in the first, as it's a good start for Frankfurt offense.
That might throw him off just a little bit. He's thinking, "Oh, I can't throw this right down the middle or just throw the ball anymore. I'm gonna have to try to make some pitches," and might cause him to have some control problems.
Eric Duncan steps in with the bases loaded. Swings, popped up back behind second. Having to go out to make the play, and it is made over there at second by Cobus, who moved from the mound to second base. 7-2 through 1. The Redbirds put up 7 runs, and 6 of them with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Take a quick break. Come back. The second inning of play from Bill McKee Field with us here at Redbirds Live.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfurt High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfurt alumni and veteran Matthew Caraway. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfurt community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
All right, so through 1, it's 7-2 West Frankfurt. And the Redbirds really beat up on Trico starting pitcher Brian Cobus. His final line, just 2/3 of an inning, giving up 7 runs, just 1 of them earned. That first one with 3 walks, struck out 1, and he gave up 2 hits. And Frankfurt was able to tack on 2 more hits as Krenwetter came in relief to get that final out. And now, after a big score like that, the main goal now is always go out there and get a quick half inning and get back into the dugout and let the bats go right back out there.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go out here. Let's have a good half inning on defense, and then let's do what we did in the first on offense.
First pitch, strike one. It's Bennett couldn't squeeze it again, and it's still getting the call there. 0-1 and outside to the right-handed hitting Caden McBride. Started the game at second base, and he has since shifted elsewhere as after that pitching change. 1-1 count to McBride. Odom on the way. Got him to pop it up. Odom and Bennett going towards it, and they let it drop foul.
You know, that's a play we got to have. Popped up right there in the infield. Guys going after it. It's a play that's got to be made.
Yeah, it's fortunate that it was in foul territory, and the catcher and pitcher, that's Odom and Bennett, just kind of stared at each other. Not, it's your ball. No, it's yours. And well, it's nobody's. 1-2, and you can't let McBride thinking I got a second chance now, and ball outside. And you really want those there because now you've got to go back out there if you're Ethan Odom and have to work when you've had some command issues yourself. That was a free out there that you let slip through, and it'll really hurt if he's able to reach. McBride grounded towards third, foul. Count stays 2-2. McBride, Starkey, and Kobus, 6, 7, 8 guys due up, and one can reach. Jimenez will get in there before we return to the top of the order. This is high, and it runs full after it was 1-2 after that pop foul that Frankfurt couldn't take in. Odom, payoff pitch, ball four. Threw it up near his head, and both pitchers, both sides, have really struggled. Caden Starkey will step in, the left fielder. And he's got a guy over at first in McBride. Lead off walk. They seem to come back and bite you most of the time. And that was after you got a second crack at it. Bennett not able to catch this one. It gets away from him. Ball outside. Runner's going to put there at first. Forget it. It's in the past, and you got to bounce back, and try to generate something that could maybe be a twin killer here on the base pass. This is fouled off to the backstop.
Yeah, there's not much pressure, giving off leadoff walk. You got a 5-run lead. You come in here, just make strikes and let the defense do some work.
Odom comes set out of the stretch. Runner not going anywhere, and it's low. Gets away. Runner's going. Throw down, and he's going to advance, and it gets into the outfield as it hit off the glove of Mitten, and McBride didn't have a chance to get to his feet and go for third. But now that runner's down at second with nobody out. Count sitting at 2-1. Odom. Check the runner. Now goes to the plate. Ball outside. Now it's 3-1. I think we can really simplify how this game's going to go and who's going to win. It's whatever team, is able to throw more strikes. That's the way it's gone right now. And there's been walk after walk, and there's another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's mental. It's a mental thing. Going up there, you got to realize what you're doing wrong, and you can't keep walking people and letting them allow to get on base because then it takes one hitter go up there and really change the outcome of the game.
Runners at first and second. Gets away from Bennett. Runner to third. Runner to second. They're both in there. Both runners move up on the ball in the dirt. And right now we've had 6 outs in about nearly 50 minutes. 1-0 count to Cobus, trying to help his team get back in at 2-0. Brian Cobus, who moved to second after his command issues, takes a strike at the letters. 2-1 count. Runners at second and third for Trico. Nobody retired. Swing and a high fly ball out to left. Patterson moving over to go get it. He makes the grab, gets the throw in, and it's overthrown. And everyone is moving up. Runner home and runner to third on the fly out from Cobus. It's a throw that's got to go to third base, not to home plate, because a throw to third, that guy's going to stay put at second. You really never had a shot at McBride heading home.
Yeah, no, I mean you'd have to have a really good arm out there in left field to get it close to making an out there.
And Chase Patterson has as good of an arm as any left fielder Frankfurt's going to put out there, and still had obviously no play at that. As he was off balance, didn't have his feet set on that catch, and I think the throw's to third instead. Now you got a guy at third, 0-1 on Jimenez. Because you're not worried about that guy. You're worried about maybe a second run coming in. I think you can live with 7-3 going to the bottom of the second. 7-4, you're not as comfortable. This ball's up. 1-1. And after Jimenez, we're going to flip to the top of the order. Cranwetter will step back in. Strike 2. In on the black. On the hands of the left-handed hitting Jimenez. Odom looking for a big punch out. Swing and a miss. That runner has to stay put at third. Big strikeout there for Ethan Odom. We're back to the top in Cranwetter, who reached to start the game on a 5-pitch walk. Now he's swinging first pitch. He's fouled out of play, right side. Flipping to the top, he's going to be a good hitter. He's probably going to hit for good contact, and he knows all he needs to do is find that outfield grass, and he's going to be able to punch a run in. 0-1, pitch in for strike 2. Quickly in the hole is Cranwetter. Odom trying to find a groove here. Redbirds leading at 7-3. Where does he go here? Pitch on the way. Good break as it broke off the plate. It's a good pitch there, 0-2. To where if Cranwetter goes after it, there's nothing he can do with it. 1-2 count. Pitch on the way. Swing. Fouled off. Right side. Cranwetter just trying to find a way to extend this inning and prolong it. Get Trico right back in this thing. 7-3 pitch on the way. Popped up on a breaking ball. Odom's the one underneath it by the mound. And he's got it off on his left side of the mound. But one run comes in. 7-3. through an inning and a half for Bill McKee Field. The Redbirds up by 4 on Trico. Pause and hear from some of our sponsors.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Gina King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Weeks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership right on the price, right off I-57.
We head to the bottom of the second. West Frankfort Redbirds 7, Trico Pioneers 3. It'll be Cranowetter who got that final out of the bottom of the first, back out there to begin the bottom of the second. Frankfort will have Scales, Webster, and Samples, 5, 6, 7 spot in their lineup due up to begin this inning. And we got a couple guys in there. Scales who worked a good count, but was rung up on a full count strikeout. And you got Webster and Samples who hit some weak ground balls, but you're expecting more strikes from Cranowetter than we saw from Cobus, and hitters got to be ready to swing the bat.
Yeah, coming into the second inning, it's a good chance to put up some more runs and try to expand this lead and have Odom go out with even more confidence. And
Ball one up. Yeah, you feel the same way that 7-3, high scoring. That's in there low, 2-0. A 7-3 lead, leading by 4 feels a little different than a 4-0 lead leading by 4. 4-0, you feel like you really got the thing under control. 7-3 feels like, especially this early on, that this thing could really turn on its head if you let things get away from you.
yeah, definitely. You gotta go out there and you gotta continue to play like it's a 0-0 ball game.
Scales towards the left center gap, and that's going to trek towards the wall. And Scales has an easy stand-up double. And a good sight to see a nice hard hit ball from Will Scales out towards the gap and a leadoff double for him. Frankfurt's jumping on Cranowetter's fastballs over the plate.
Oh yeah, it was hard ball hit in the gap. It's what you need to be seeing from Scales all year.
Especially in there, plugged in that 5 spot, and after coming up empty first trip. Here's Webster, steps in 0 for 1 with the fielder's choice that forced a runner out at the plate, takes it low and away. Scales leads from second. Cranowetter checks a couple of times, makes his way towards the plate. Webster swings, popped up right side. First baseman Wilson giving it a look. It's out of play. Count gets to 1-1. We are approaching the hour mark here in this ball game. Here in the bottom of the second, nobody out, runner on. Webster swings at one, up and in. That's where you got to live if you're going against Webster at the plate. Pitches up. He's got a relatively good eye at pitches down and in or off, but pitches up. That is, he tries to jump on him and unable to do that if it's a fastball way up there. Webster pops it up to first. Wilson gets underneath it, and he dropped the baseball. He was stumbling the whole way. He never looked comfortable, and it looked like it hit the palm of the glove and not the pocket, and it popped out. Webster's given a gift of first base. And here's Chris Samples. And they're swinging it good. You feel good about that. We might see him move him over here. We'll see. Runners Dancing out there are Scales and Webster. First two have reached.
And you know it's good when you got guys on the bases getting in the pitcher's head. He's too worried about them. He's gonna make a mistake, maybe throw something too pretty over the plate.
Ball gets away. Scales, good read on it, and he's going to have third. Nice read from Scales, and that allows Webster to move up as the trail runner as well. Second and third. Now you don't got to move him over. Makes it a lot easier for Chris Samples. Just get him in. Pitch on the way. Swing. Out off. Just to the right of us. 1-1 count. Two more out there with nobody retired. The Redbirds leading at 7-3. Two totally different approaches we're seeing here with these two pitchers. That Trico's thrown out there. Samples is going to foul this one over near the first base dugout. Falls behind 1-2, but the ability for Frankfurt to adjust, seeing Brian Cobus throw so many pitches out of the zone and you have that mentality to go up there and make him throw you strikes, and then easily able to flip that and go right after this guy in Cranwetter. It shows up, and that's a great breaking ball that just swoops through the heart of the plate for strike three looking. And the first batter's retired, and a big out there to get Samples. And here's Decaden Sneathen. He reached on an infield single that brought in a run.
Who hasn't seen a lot of pitches? I'm pretty sure he jumped on that on a first pitch he was given his first at bat. Maybe he'll do the same here.
He does, and it's fouled back to the screen. Bennett is on deck. Then it would flip back to the top. Sneathen at the dish. Scales at third. Webster at second. 7-3 Frankfurt. Pitch on the way. Back up the middle. One hopper. He's going to drive in a run on the RBI ground out. Scobus was able to fire to first to get the out. But I think you'd say job done there. You get that run back that you allowed there in the top half, and you're back to leading by 5 like you did at the end of the first. And now anything added, you can try to win this frame as well. Bennett, ball outside, and he had a good first at bat. Fell behind 0-2 quickly and was able to work a walk that brought in a run. So an RBI on the walk for Bennett. Swing and a miss on the outer edge. 1-1. Webster's got to be ready for a ball that gets away to try to potentially get another run in. This one's outside. Cohn's able to get the glove up to get it. 2-1. Bennett looking for a good pitch to hit here in this good hitters count. And a guy out there looking to be driven in Webster. Cranwetter. This ball's hit. It's going to split the outfielders for an RBI single for Bennett. A sharp round around first. And a 2-out run driven in from Jace Bennett. I like to see it from the freshman. 2 really good at bats from him.
It's a pretty good piece of hitting.
If we're getting that from our 9 spot this year, I feel pretty good about the lineup that Frankfurt's marching out there.
I think Bennett's a pretty good guy to put in that 9 spot. He has good approaches to the plate. He tries to, drag counts out a little bit, and he doesn't do anything too bad at there.
Move to first, back in safely. Frankfurt leading at 9-3. We'll get you a softball update here in a moment. In between the half innings. Pitch on the way, and a great jump. Running down to second, easily stealing the base is Bennett on the ball, low in the dirt. Good read there, especially after having the pitcher throw over the pitch prior, and he's still able to get that good of a jump and easily swipes it now. A base hit from Joyner. 2 outs, running on contact. You might see another run coming home. Pitch on the way. Little up, but it's called. Strike 1. Right there on the border, and Cranwetter gets the benefit of the call. 1-1 count to Cam Joyner. Big hole open on the right side. He can just slap it that way. And now Kobus retreats back to his normal position. He's jumping in and out with McBride at short and stepping off the mound as Cranwetter. He's too worried about Bennett, the runner at second base. He's back. Right foot on the rubber. Becomes set, looking to come home with pitch on the way. Strike two. Outer edge. There always seems to be in a bat or two where you feel like not only one but two calls go against you. But hey, you get three. You just got to be protective. You know anything close is probably going to be called here if you're Cam Joyner, and just choke up a little bit, put it in play, and good things have happened when Frankfurt put it in play today. Pitch on the way. Joyner swings, slaps it down the third base line, foul.
Just a little bit early on that one. Waited a little more, you would slapped it down the line.
That surely would have plated the runner. Count stays 1-2 on Cam Joyner. Justin the Grip gets back in the box. See if Cranwetter goes to that off speed, which he got for a called third earlier in the inning. Pitch on the way. Joyner spoils it again, out of play. Now Cranwetter up to 27 pitches himself. He's gotten just 3 outs in that span. 2 here in the second, and the final out in the first in relief of Kobus. And Trico has more, or did, have some activity for another potential reliever. Joyner, long pause from Cranwetter, on the way, outer edge, too far out. 2-2. How about Bennett catching Trico napping, and he's down to third now. Anything that might get away, you might see him. He's been super aggressive. He might take off for the plate. 2-2, and now that's something more to think about for Cranwetter. Swing, popped up, he got under it. Shortstop over McBride. Underneath it, makes the grab. Runner is stranded at third and Bennett, but he drives in one, and Frankfurt picks up another. 9-3 through 2. Redbirds on top of the Pioneers.
The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds.
All right, through 2 innings of play, the line score in this contest 3-0 and 3. 3 runs, 0 hits, 3 errors for Trico. Frankfurt with 9 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. So the Redbirds out ahead with a 6-run advantage. And it'll be Cone, Dorner, and Wilson due up. So 2, 3, 4 guys due up, middle part of the order. Coming to bat here for Trico, an important inning for Ethan Odom to throw some strikes and try to settle in with this 6-run lead. First pitch gets to the backstop, ball 1. Pitch on the way. In for a strike.
Yeah, I think Odom, coming out now, he's got a lot of pressure taken off his back with a 6-run lead. He can just worry about throwing strikes out there.
Time called. Getting back in the box, and we got something brewing down the road. We've got a ball game. 8-7 West Frankfort softball on top in the bottom of the fourth. Frankfort still with the lead, but with the narrowest of margins there. Odom, pitch on the way, up and away. Count's going to be 3-1. Cone has been patient. Swing and a miss. Runs it full.
And we'll take help from the batters all day. If they want to give us help like that and swing at bad pitches, we'll take it.
Full count, payoff on the way. This leadoff man on the pitch, swing, popped up, out towards right. There's coming in to make the play for out number one. Now there is Bennett, who has moved from behind the plate to right field. Frankfurt shifted some guys around. Scales is now behind the plate, so Bennett moves from behind the plate out to right, and the first ball in play is hit right to him, and the first batter's retired. Webster's moved in to third. This ground ball, first pitch to Mitten. Coming to his left, fires to first, and out number two. Dorner's retired on one pitch. That's more like it. Couple quick outs, nobody on for Cannon Wilson.
Hey, Ethan Odom, the pitcher, that's all you can ask for. Your defense makes plays, nice, easy plays, routine. It's an easier day on the baseball field.
First pitch too tall to Wilson. Frankfurt in the bottom half will have Patterson, Mitten, and Duncan due up. So they're 2, 3, 4 guys as well. This one's too far in, 2-0. Like to get in the dugout quick and make Cranwetter have to go back out there and try to work in what seems like would be a very quick half inning, and it especially is with how the half innings have gone today. Swing chopped back in front of the mound. There's Odom, slings it to first, and that's out number three. As it's Duncan who's shifted over to first base. 1-2-3 for the first time today. Frankfurt leading at 9-3 as we head to the bottom half of the third.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Caraway. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
Our first 1-2-3 half inning of the day comes there in the top of the third as the 2-3-4 guys go 1-2-3 for Trico, and now Frankfurt's got the 2-4 due up here in the bottom, and I think it's just time to keep piling on, and I think that's the only thing you could do right now if you're Frankfurt. You've really got to go after Trico and try to really put them in a even deeper hole they're in. But man, 6 is not out of reach, and but you can make it a number that is if you keep doing what you've been doing through the first two innings at the plate.
Yeah, let's give ourselves some help here. Let's put some more runs on the board, and let's take this game to the fifth inning. Let's close it out on top of the fifth. Let's get that above the 10-run mark, and let's send Trico home going down 10 or more.
Yeah, it's not out of the question the way Frankfurt's hit the ball, and You got the meat of your order here against Cranowetter. It'll be Chase Patterson. First pitch way up at his head, swing and a miss. Redbirds have had trouble with those fastballs at eye level here today. Cranowetter to the plate. Patterson's not going to chase this one. That's because it was directly above his head. 2-0. Sorry, 1-1. You know, I get stuck reading what's on the scoreboard here. This guy up here's messing up the scoreboard for us, but it's 1-1. It, my only kid, but you know, it's important to get a couple more runs here. Patterson slicing away from the center fielder Dorner, but he's over, camps under it on the run for out number one. Quick one out on Patterson. Maybe we're seeing both pitchers starting to settle in here, and after a really chaotic first couple of innings.
Yeah, and I think besides swinging at a ball way above his head, I think Chase had pretty good at bat there. He put the ball in play and just happened to hit it right to a defender.
And no time wasted from Hayden Mitten, who has done the same thing against Cranowetter. One pitch seen and has slapped it through the 5-6 hole over there. A couple of hits for Mitten out the left. Pretty simple approach for him is see a strike, swing at it, and he's not wasting time in the box. He's down to first base again, and now let's see if Eric Duncan can get something going here. He's due for another nicely hit baseball. Ball gets to the backstop. It's Cone. It's a little lazy going over it. He did his best Paxton impersonation there, Quincy, just stabbing at it. And we joked about that Monday, but that's one you've got to. If you're going to stab at it, you better block it, or else you're going to you hear it from your staff, your coaching staff. Because if you're going to stab, you better get it. If not, you got to move that body over. Fouled out of play for Duncan. It's 1-1. One down. He steps in and looks to extend Frankfurt's 6-run lead. This one is tad low. Outer edge to the right-handed hitting Eric Duncan. It's a good hitter's count again for Duncan. He had that opportunity last time. Wasn't able to do any real damage with it. See if he can change his fortunes here. Pitch on the way. Too tall, 3-1.
I thought for a second Duncan was gonna go for that one up in the zone again.
Now he a little smarter and held the bat back, unlike a couple of Redbirds today. Now he sets him up with even a better count here for a hitter, 3-1. The ideal hitter's count, that 2-0, and it's ball four. It's a good patient at bat from Eric Duncan. We'll see Will Scale step up, and he slapped one out to left center last time for a double before eventually coming home. I like that approach from him. Really getting behind that baseball and driving it towards the gap to where he had an easy stand-up double. He was able to just trot into second base. Scales waves the bat, shows bunt. He's able to pull back in time, and it's thrown down to first, and Wilson wasn't looking. Runners are moving up. One's coming home, and Duncan stays at second. I think he had third base, but one's coming in, and Mitten. That was odd. You saw Cone throw down behind the runner Duncan at first, and Wilson, the first baseman, was not paying attention. And it deflected off him and went out to right. Frankfurt gifted a run. It's 10-3, and now they got another one in scoring position. Scale still shows bunt. Pulls back yet again. 2-0.
If we're gonna see mistakes like this from their defense, maybe we should be really aggressive on the base pass, really try to make some plays here. So I mean, they're just gonna throw it away like that. We could really put some more runs on the board.
Scales in there with the 2-0. Takes ball. Too low. It's 3-0. Three and 0, and expecting a pitch taken here. A lot of time taken from Cranowetter on the way and misses in. 4-pitch walk to Will Scales. You're right, Quincy. Redbirds more traffic out there, and they can get a couple runs here, and they don't have to play all 7. And I'm sure Coach Smith and his staff would be pleased with not having to extend pitchers past where they want, the number they want, and not having to use guys, you know, that weren't originally, you know, potentially going to be used today. But going into the weekend, it's a little easier. You get the whole couple days to reset and refresh yourselves. But you'd like a clean slate in terms of your staff going into next week. But in the meantime, Trico's got to make another change, and it's going to be McBride coming to the mound. Or is that, yeah, that's Caden McBride who steps on the rubber. It's pitching change brought to you by La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant in West Frankfort. It's 10-3. 10-3 in the bottom of the third. Just one away, and Duncan at second, Scales at first. It'll be Deacon Webster batting. We'll do a quick Redbird recap and outlook. That's brought to you by Kids Corral. Starting at the beginning of this week here to open up the season. Frankfort, 13-3 defeat at the hands of Carmi White County before a 5-3 victory over Sparta on Tuesday. Thursday, Frankfort's game with Centralia gets rained out before moving into play here today at 1-1. Going forward next week, Frankfort in action again. The Varsity Redbirds set for 2 contests next week. Johnson City on the road on Thursday and at home against Chester on Friday. It's the recap and outlook brought to you by Kids Corral for the Frankfort Redbird baseball. And we will get you an update from softball here momentarily. Webster steps in. The new pitcher, McBride. First pitch fouled off. Second one way up stairs. 1-1 count. That off-speed pitch never came back down like it was intended to.
Yeah, just left it up there and just hung, kept going.
Next one, swing, and Webster was way out in front. This is typically where you would see your coaches, coming from a guy that had a little bit more velocity. You might, scoot a little bit closer towards the rubber in the box with some of these pitches coming in super slow. But Webster's got to find a way here. Swing and a miss upstairs. Got to really scoot up towards the front of the batter's box to let that ball get to you a little sooner than it would maybe if you're in the back of it against a harder thrower. Chris Sample steps in 2 on, 2 down. Takes it low, ball 1. One 0 count to Samples. Pitch on the way. This one catches the black, strike 1. Frankfort scored 7 in the first, 2 in the second, and thus far 1 here in the third. Trico 2 in the first, 1 in the second, none in the third on that 1-2-3 top half of the third inning. Samples puts it in play. Knocked down at third by Bowerman. Fires to first to get Samples by a couple of steps. Through 3, it's 10-3 Redbirds. We pause here from some of our sponsors. We come back in the top of the 4th. Redbirds on top by 7.
Ask Melissa Walden about Shelter's auto, home, and life options. Call or text at 618 937 2092. Melissa Walden, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Contact Power Wash Plus for a free quote on all your residential or commercial pressure washing needs. Professionally operated and fully insured. Call Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505 for more information. That's Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505.
All right, we're back. Top four. Trico has their 5, 6, 7 due up. We got any updates from softball?
Well, last time I checked, we're in the top of the fifth down there, 12-7. The Lady Redbirds on top. They extended that lead out a little bit and getting a little comfortable up there.
It was getting a little too close for comfort. Quick strike one here in the top of the fourth. Odom still out there grinding out his outing, and he's really done a good job of, even though not having his greatest stuff today in command, he's still putting Frankfurt in a good spot to have a chance to win this game. Count runs even 1-1. Yeah, you're right. What was it? 8-0, and then down there at the softball, and it got to 8-7. Frankfurt 4-run spot to go back up 12-7, and as we head to the bottom of the fifth here with softball down the road from us. Count here 1-2 on Bowerman. Bowerman steps in. Odom. As Bowerman on the day is 0 for 1. Takes this one up and away. His first at bat, he grounded out on that soft grounder. And it runs full. Full count. Nobody retired on the way. Ball 4. Lead off walk. Here in the fourth. Odom up to just shy of 60 pitches and a mound visit here for Frankfurt. This mound visit brought to you by Hal Insurance. Just trying to get him back on course after a good third inning, top of the third, and the benefit is you've got the bottom of the order, so even though you let Bowerman reach, you've got 6, 7, 8, 9 guys coming up, and good pitches should generate some outs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you go in there, you throw good pitches, you hit your spots. Let them put the ball in play, let your defense make some work, and it's proven to be good, especially last inning. Defense made some really good plays and got us out 1, 2, 3.
Ball 1, low and outside. To Caden McBride, who took over for Mason Cranwetter on the bump for Trico. Pickoff move, easily back in as Bowerman. Reminder, JV in action tomorrow. And then we'll be back on the call next Friday. And then we'll have JV on Saturday. This is through the hole over past the diving Webster at third. First to have reached for Trico, base hit from McBride. And you let a couple on, and you're asking for Trico to want to try to get back into this ball game and make it get competitive again. And here's Caden Starkey. 2 on, nobody out. for Odom after dealing with no traffic against the heart of the order. First pitch high. Odom checks the runner at second. Comes home and it gets to the backstop. Both guys moving up. 2-0 count. Odom losing command again here in the fourth. Now they got a guy coming in to courtesy run. Not sure why they didn't do it earlier. That is Jimenez into run. No, that's off the bench. Courtesy runner there. Count runs 3-0.
Looks like Odom out here is just overthrowing, trying to make pitches that it's hard to make when you're deep in this game.
Strike one. Up at the top of the zone. After Starkey, we'll see Cobus and Jimenez. Bowerman out there at third. McBride's spot at second base. Strike two, outer edge. It's full. Big pitch here. Frankfurt needs an out. Odom fell behind 3-0. Pitch on the way. Swing, ground ball back towards the middle of the field. Not sure they're going to be able to make a play. It's through, and it ends up scoring one. And the second run's coming home to score. And the runner, Starkey's going to get second base as it gets away from Scales. So two in on the RBI single that just scooted through center, and it's 10-5. Still nobody out. Frankfurt lead has been trimmed in to where just at this point have doubled Trico 10-5 here, and I think we're having a change. Odom's day done. Still responsible for that runner out at second base. So they will have to make a move. It looks like we will see West Frankfurt's opening day starter coming in relief, Chase Patterson. And well, let's hope Chase throws like he did Monday, because I'll feel pretty good about him out of relief here.
Yeah, definitely. I think Chase is going to come in right now, and he's going to make some good pitches to disrupt the Trico offense from scoring any more right now. They got some momentum going their way, and you hate to see a team that's down get some momentum.
Really nothing to lose for Trico right now, and no reason to go after, no reason not to go after this thing and try to make this competitive again. And, a lot of teams will roll over, but these Pioneers are hanging around, and it starts with walks. And the leadoff guy reached on a walk, and so it's important for Patterson out of relief to throw some strikes here. And even with them run scoring, even with the guy at second base and no outs, you're still up 10-5. I mean, you're still in a good spot. You're still um, in the driver's seat to win this ball game, and it's just about like we keep saying, and we've said in the pregame, and you've got to limit the damage, and if you're able to avoid you know big offensive outputs in innings from the defensive side of things, you should be in good shape. And you know there's no reason to think Frankfurt's done scoring the way their offense has hit today. So keep the lead around 5-4, 3 runs here, and you'll feel good still moving forward as we're approaching towards the back end of this ball game. Patterson ended up getting a loss on Monday, but I believe just one run that he allowed was an earned run. Majority of them were unearned. He looks to settle in here, and he gets to start with the 8-9 guys before flipping to the top. So it's Cobus who steps in here. Trico's starting pitcher from the day, which seems like it was a long time ago. First pitch, swing and a miss. That is where you want to live if you're Chase Patterson. Right there in the zone, and if Trico's going to beat you, you want them to beat you, and not you don't want to go out there and beat yourselves by walking them. So especially go after these guys at the bottom before you flip to Cranwetter at the top. Swing and a miss, 0-2. That is good to see a guy come out there and in relief, and Odom still gave his team a chance to win. 5 runs with how his stuff being off, you can't be too displeased about. And see if Frankfurt can take it home in the bullpen. Swing and a miss, a strikeout on 3 pitches for Patterson on Cobus. Pretty
I
easy.
mean, it's definitely nice. You can come in and do that. We'll take that all day.
Menez steps in. Patterson, look at the runner, back to the plate. It's going to be below the zone, ball one. It's been Frankfurt's best offensive ball game to this point. After 3 in the first game, 5 in the second, they've got 10 through just 3 trips to the plate. Good showing there. They put the ball in play, and as long as you're doing that, you've got a shot. After that swing and a miss there, Jimenez, it's 1-1. 1 down. Starkey getting a big lead. Strike 2, right down the pipe. And Patterson's now got another hitter in the hole. Patterson, look back to second. Now back in to his catcher Scales. Back again to the plate. Breaking ball's just outside. Ball 2. Now looked pretty, but there's no sense of fooling around, I don't think, with Jimenez down at the bottom. So you go right after him with some gas here.
Yeah, you go right for him. I think is the game plan at this pitch right here.
Patterson keeps looking at Starkey. Comes to the plate. Strike 3 looking. Swing and a miss on the first for a K. And this backwards K here. Patterson's seen 2, and he's struck out 2. Cranwetter steps in, the leadoff man. Popped up, out of play. Guess Frankfurt made a lot of errors behind Chase last time, his last outing. Maybe he's thinking, oh, have it in my hands. I'll strike these guys out at the plate. He's got his first 2 rung up. He's got Cranwetter, the leadoff guy, in the hole. 0-1. Strike 2 as Cranwetter could not pull the trigger that time. Started, but stopped really early and quickly in the hole. 0-2. Cone on deck. Patterson to the plate. Down the left field line, it's going to hook foul. Off-speed pitch was hung. Cranwetter was way out in front of it. Stays 0-2. Better placement there. He's way out in front. You might get him if it's, bouncing right there near the plate, but that one was hung up, and you're fortunate that Starkey and Cranwetter didn't trade places there with a double somewhere, but you still got him 0-2. Made a mistake and got away with it. Now you got to make him pay. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It popped out of the glove from Scales. Plenty of time. Throws down, and there's the out. No big deal for Patterson. Comes in. 1, 2, 3, all striking out. In relief for Chase Patterson, and it's 10-5 through midway through the 4th. Come back. Redbirds 2 up to hit with a 5-run lead.
Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Jana King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
So McBride back out there in the bottom of the fourth to pick up where he left off last time on the mound for Trico. 10-5, 2 runs come in. Still got a runner at second. Relief appearance there, which I'd say is not over for Chase Patterson, but so far the first test, A plus there for Chase Patterson and the Redbirds.
Oh yeah, definitely. You come in relief and you throw to 3 batters, strike them all out. I mean, making good pitches. The fastball is working really well for him. You can't want anything more.
Snee then takes a pitch for a strike that he didn't like. 0-1. Next one. Had to wait on it. Hits it towards third. It gets past the third baseman. Cranawetter's there. Fires to first. And it's going to run to the fence as it got past Wilson. And Sneathen's going to be held up at first. Not a great read once that ball got by. So precautionary here. Nobody out. And, with the lead, no reason to really push it there and see if you can just generate some offense and some base runners for yourself. Here's Jace Bennett. And they back pick Sneathen, and they've got him hung up in a rundown. Sneathen is safe at second. He made it in there in time as he got under the tag. Counts 0-1. They threw behind Sneathen. They had him. Wilson just, you're taught, get the ball to the bag, um, the lead base as soon as you can. Wilson just took too long, and the count goes 1-1. He's got to get rid of it immediately. You almost want to chase the runner back to the base that they're at. Not executed there from Trico, and then his toss was soft and too high. Sneathen was safe under the tag. This one gets away. Sneathen's going to try for third. Might not have this one. He is out at third. He's safe at third. Ooh. Oh, goodness. 2-1 the count. I had him out at third, Quincy. Frankfort is Sneathen at third. He's must have 9 lives as he's still running around the bases as he's down to third base.
Speedy Gonzalez out there on third.
Bennett, 3-1 to him. Job a little easier than it was originally. Sneathen's done work to get to third all by himself. 10-5 the Redbird lead. Runner at third is Sneathen. Pitch to Bennett. Swing. Slap towards third. It's going to be foul. And it runs full. After Bennett, we jump to the top of the order. Joyner, Patterson, Mitten. Still nobody retired here in the fourth. Redbirds looking to get a couple runs back after a 2-spot in the top of the fourth for Trico. Pitch way too high, ball 4. Here comes Cam Joyner. It is 12-8. Frankfort softball leading in the bottom of the 6th at the moment. So a 4-run lead. Hope County will just have one more trip to the plate to bat. They back pick on Bennett, and he's called out. And that wasn't even close. I
I could have bet a lot that he was safe there.
well,
He got back
you
easily.
you could see it. And 1-0. Bennett gets picked as the trail runner, which is a big no-no, even though he was safe. But still, he was off too much to where it made it a close play, and you put it in the umpire's hands at that point. Swing and a miss from Joyner. But I will say that one looked. The previous two that were safe calls looked closer than that one. Pitch to Joyner. Ball outside. 2-1 the count. One down. Swing and a miss. Way out in front. Frankfurt's, for whatever reason, having trouble with these pitches that are just floating to the hitter. They're too antsy and they can't seem to stay back and wait for the ball to travel to them. And 2-2, and Joyner swings and misses. So a guy at third with nobody out, and now there's a guy at third and two outs, and no one has scored. You could maybe sense a momentum shift if they aren't able to score here, and Trico's thinking, hey, we can get something going here. Momentum swinging our way. Guy at third, they can't get him in. But Patterson can try to put that to bed here if he can drive him in. Chopped foul, 0-1. McBride trying to tightrope out of a jam here in the bottom of the fourth. Sweeps across the plate and out of the zone for ball one. Just outside of crossing the plate. This one grounded back towards the short diving effort that time from Krennewetter, gets through, and Frankfurt's going to have a run produced with two outs yet again. It's an RBI hit from Chase Patterson to make it 11-5. And you really needed to get that in after him, Sneathen getting over there with no outs. Felt like you really had to get that one in.
Yeah, and putting up another run like that and them going to their when they go to their bats, it might put their moral down a little bit, their morale. When they had 10-5, maybe got stopped there at third, might have pushed some momentum where they get into their offense and they start really thinking they're in this.
Strike, inner part of the plate to Mitten. Now Patterson's over there dancing around at first, trying to get the attention of McBride. Swing and slapped left field line foul. Quickly 0-2. Let's put some good wood to the baseball here today. It was Kobus who just went 2/3 of an inning, before Kranwetter went an inning and 2/3, where he gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out one and walked two, and now he was able to hand it to McBride, who's went an inning and a third to this point. 0 earned, 1 run allowed, 2 hits, 2 Ks, 1 walk. Pickoff moves safely back in as Patterson. McBride to the plate, up high, ball one. Mid waits, takes up high again. 2-2. Working back into this count, taking a couple pitches up. Pitch on the way. Nearly got the jersey. Instead, it runs full. Patterson off with the pitch here. Softball, Redbirds. 1 out away as it's fouled back here. Leading at 12-8 in the top of the 7th over Pope County. 1 on and 2 downs. Frankfort softball 1 out away from getting to 3-0. Full count, 2 outs to Mitten here. Runner at first is Patterson. And they check on Patterson. Gets away from the first baseman. Patterson's going to try for second, and he'll get there easily. Sliding in, although it could have been standing up. Patterson to second. Mitten got a guy in scoring position for him now. Checks Patterson. Does McBride and comes home. Fouled back to the screen.
I think that was a good swing from Minton there. I think you let that go and it's framed well enough, it's going to be called a third strike.
And with it off speed, he started and really hard to stop. So instead of trying to check his swing, he tried to just spoil it, and he was able to do just that. Full count. Stepping off is McBride. Coming to the plate. It's low as it bounces in, and it's a walk. And we extend it to Eric Duncan. He's got 2 out there. Redbirds leading at 11-5. Duncan with 2 on and 2 outs. First pitch, outside ball. Duncan steps out and gets back in. Heading to count 1-0. Ball 2. It was Cone that time trying to jump up and potentially throw behind a runner, and he smacked the umpire in the face. It's 2-0 the count. Still not done down the road with softball. Still with 2 outs. Still a 4-run Redbird lead. Pope County with a couple of runners on base. Softball trying to close that thing out. 3-0 count here. Pitch on the way. That's going to be called a strike, especially 3-0. 3-1 now to Eric Duncan. Duncan takes one where he has to duck underneath it. Bases will be loaded for Will Scales. We're not done just yet. 12-9 the score. Frankfort still looking to close it out. Still just 1 out away from doing so is Jim Pearsall and his softball crew down the road, trying to finish off Pope County. Will Scales takes the ball high, and now McBride has nowhere to put Will Scales with the bases loaded. Takes it for a strike.
I'd really like to see a Will Scales gapper like we saw from his last at bat. Unload the bases and do something here.
That won't hurt anything, that's for sure. And it hits him in the helmet. We've already seen that 3 or 4 times. He'll take an RBI off the hit by pitch. 12-5 West Frankfort. Here's Webster, and a gapper could give Frankfort that 10-run lead if it's hit out into one of them power alleys. As we got a stoppage here. And they're going to have runner come in for Scales. The bases are loaded. Reynolds will run for Scales. You're allowed re-entry once, so you might see that with Scales getting him, able to just catch his breath after being hit in the helmet. Count goes 0-1 on Webster. Takes one below the zone, 1-1. Well, 5 Redbirds here, bottom 4. 1-1 the count to Deacon. Webster looking to drive in some runs with 2 outs. Takes it low, and it's blocked nicely from Cohen. For the most part, I thought he's done a pretty good job behind the plate. A couple get away, but he's had to, work.
Yeah, I mean, a few got away, but how many opportunities has he had that he's had to block and get down there is, a question. He's had a lot of work behind the plate today, and it's been impressive, what he's managed on his own.
2-2 count after the Tapper foul for Webster. McBride looking to get through the 4th. Ball inside, and we go full. Runners off with the pitch. Runners going, and Webster takes ball 4, up and in. Nice discipline from Webster, something he struggled with earlier in the game, but really nice job there to lay off those last 2 and get an RBI. You say the easy way because you don't put it in play, but nothing easy about drawing a walk in a tight situation where borderline pitchers are going to go the other way. But he gets the RBI, and Frankfurt's up to an 8-run lead.
Yeah, it's a little 2-out rally going on, and find a way to get the runners in. It's what they're doing right now, and the big issue for Trico pitching today is just control. They've had a rough time with trying to throw strikes, and a lot of runs they've allowed just on walks and walking them in.
So we will have a new pitcher for Trico, their 4th of the contest. And it will be off the bench. Reed Dillo coming in to take over on the mound with the bases loaded. The first batter he'll face will be Chris Samples. Duncan at third, Reynolds second, who's running for Scales, and Webster at first. Frankfurt out with an 8-run lead, and we'll check in. And 12-9, your final for Frankfurt softball. So softball Redbirds get to 3-0 with a 12-9 win over Pope County. They're back Monday at Crab Orchard. So the ladies able to hold off, a nice rally from Pope County and move to 3-0, moving
Good,
into next week.
good for them. Redbird softball very impressive. How every year it seems like they're always impressing me, and always ending up better than what I initially thought they would be. So you know, um, good thing Jim Pearsall's got going down there.
Yeah, he's had some good teams the past handful of years, and really competitive last year in the River to River, and we'll see how they do first year jumping to the other side. They had a shot to win it last year, and good start here in the non-conference for the softball Redbirds. So congrats to them to get the 3-0, and Redbird baseball trying to get to 2-1. JV back tomorrow. They're 1-0. They get Cesar Valier tomorrow. We'll have them next Saturday following the Friday game with the varsity against Chester. Sample steps in, bases loaded. Frankfurt can score a couple here. They can try to go close it in the 5th. Ball high. Big bender that just stayed well above the zone. After samples, it would be Sneathen. This one floats through the zone. Strike one. Now this is the inning that Sneathen led off the inning, right? He was able to reach, and so if Samples can hit here, they bat all the way around. It's the guy who led it off. This one ends up behind Samples. This one, I think he just turned the shoulder in and you take your free base.
Yeah, definitely. You just let that thing hit you. You turn around, close the eyes, you just let it hit you in the back.
It's off speed. That one ain't gonna hurt at all.
Yeah.
Next one, too tall, 3-1. Cedillo's got to battle back. Samples should be pretty selective here. Strike two. Full count. Runners off again. Pitch on the way. Slap towards right. One is in. The second one's running, and he's going to score. 2-run single from Chris Samples out to right. Scores Duncan and Reynolds, and the Redbird lead is 10. How about the two-strike hitting from Samples?
Very good at bat for Chris Samples. Came through when the last pitch was on the line for the inning and came through for us.
And that's Lawrence running for Webster, who came in before that at bat. He went first to third as he was running on the play. And now Sneathen's up, and 10 will do it. But if you can close it out next inning, but you'd like an insurance run there. That way, if Trico did score, you could still end it through 5. And that is Hunter Lowe running at first now, the pinch runner for Samples. You can only tell because he's got that big old beard over there. Couldn't see with the sun shining, but that's Mr. Lowe running at first. 15-5 here in the bottom of the fourth. Sneathen takes it on the outer edge for a strike. Next pitch on the way. Thought about it. They're going to say tipped it into the glove. 1-2 count here to Sneathen. Lawrence down at third, Lowe at first. Pitch on the way. Up. Lowe's running. They're going to throw down, and he's going to be out at second. Frankfurt looking to make something happen on the base pass. They get thrown out. They lead at 15-5, capped there in that inning by a 2-run single by Chris Samples. We go to the fifth. Frankfurt with 3 outs could close this thing out. Take a quick break to hear from some of our sponsors.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Wicks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership, right on the price, right off I-57.
The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds.
Howell Insurance is a proud sponsor of Redbird Athletics. Serving West Frankfort since 1925, we provide auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Howell Insurance partners with Auto Owners Insurance Company to handle insurance the right way, the human way. Call Ryan, Jessica, or Susan Patton at 937-4000. IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space In Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina, with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi. Experience a taste of Mexico at La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant. We have the best food and drinks for the whole family to enjoy. See you tomorrow, amigos.
Here we go in the top of the fifth, and if Chase Patterson can have a clean inning where he doesn't give up a run, Frankfurt's going to be victorious here over Trico. They lead it by 10, and due up will be the 2-3-4. That's Cohen, Dorner, and Wilson. Frankfurt just 3 outs away from wrapping this thing up, and we'll see if. I think the thing you really got to do is here is throw strikes and give your defense a chance to back you up. Patterson's done good in relief, and he looks to shut it down. Here in the fifth, first pitch, ball up. Maybe trying to get a little bit extra behind that. Really rare back there, trying to pump it in there, but 1-0. Next pitch low, 2-0. Two and 0. The count on the way. That's better. Right down Central.
Yeah, I think if Patterson can live right around there, I think he can do pretty well in finishing this game out in this inning.
Yeah, just make them come after you. Ground ball foul down the first base line. Don't make it easy on them where you're out of the zone. And now you've got him 2-2, so at least you've got him in the hitter's mindset where he's been swinging. He's swung or swinging there on a ball in on his hands. Now you might be able to get him even with the pitch not in the zone. There's strike 3 called on the inside black. Ball behind 2-0, and Patterson strikes out Cone looking. It's a good bounce back from Chase Patterson.
Yeah, you like to see that from especially your opening day pitcher. He can persevere and go down the count and come right back at a hitter.
Ball high, starting this one 1-0 like the last one. There's Ty Dorner. He comes in 0 for 2 on the contest. This one's in a little high as well. So 2-0 to Cohen. Now 2-0 to Dorner. Trico with some activity down there. In case we do go to the bottom of the fifth, and that's all one run would do it. This one's a strike. This one was below the zone, and Frankfurt gets the call. Wilson on deck, then Bowerman if they're going to try to make a rally here to keep this thing alive. Patterson to the plate. Swing, fly ball center field. Joyner moving to his left. He's underneath it. Joyner puts the glove up, out number 2. And a good pitch again from Patterson on a lazy fly ball to center field.
Yeah, definitely. It hit the 5 at bats he's went up against really good.
So 1 out away. Here's Wilson, who steps in. He is 0 for 1 in today's ball game. First pitch, too high. Next pitch, 2-0 again. So all 3 hitters get ahead 2-0. You don't want to make it a habit, but at least he's shown a couple times he can come back and in this inning alone. And now you've got to do it again with Wilson. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Bowerman in the on-deck circle. If Wilson is to reach, Pioneers down to their final hope here in the top of the fifth. It's Wilson at the plate. Strike two. Caught a whole lot of plate that time. No doubt about that one. 2-2, and we're one good pitch away from wrapping this thing up and having a good week of baseball, going 2-1 to open the season. Breaking ball in there, called strike three, and Wilson knew it, and Frankfurt's going to win the ball game in a 5-inning short game, 15-5. And how about Chase Patterson wrapping it up there? We'll go to our post game after the break. First we'll hear from some of our sponsors.
Wallace Industrial Tools and Supplies knows Southern Illinois. Located in West Frankfort, they're your Milwaukee superstore with over 8,000 square feet. Wallace Tools has the largest selection of Milwaukee within a 2-hour radius. Find power tools such as drills, saws, lights, shop vacs, and more with pricing lower than you'll find anywhere else. Wallace Industrial in West Frankfort.
IBI Management manages over 2.5 million square feet of industrial storage, warehousing, and office space in Tennessee, Indianapolis, Ohio, Illinois, and South Carolina with 64 tenants. Please feel free to contact us for any management needed for your property. Feel free to reach out with any questions to Bobby and Iris Kazadi.
With an award-winning body shop right here in West Frankfort, Illinois, Wicks is your hometown Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealer. Come out and visit us in person or online at gregweeks.com. Your hometown dealership right on the price, right off I-57.
Kids Corral Incorporated, celebrating 25 years serving the children and families of Southern Illinois. Owned and operated by Gina King and Kristen Cass. Kids Corral in West Frankfort.
Redbirds Live, brought to you by the partners of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates, including former West Frankfort High School dual sport standout Lance Brown and fellow West Frankfort alumni and veteran Matthew Caraway. The law firm of Sam C. Mitchell and Associates are proud members of the West Frankfort community and proud servants of all of Southern Illinois.
Ask Melissa Walden about Shelter's Auto, Home, and Life options. Call or text at 618-937-2092. Melissa Walden, Shelter Insurance in West Frankfort.
Contact Power Wash Plus for a free quote on all your residential or commercial pressure washing needs. Professionally operated and fully insured. Call Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505 for more information. That's Power Wash Plus at 618-663-2505.
Howell Insurance is a proud sponsor of Redbird Athletics. Serving West Frankfort since 1925, we provide auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. Howell Insurance partners with Auto Owners Insurance Company to handle insurance the right way, the human way. Call Ryan, Jessica, or Susan Patton at 937-4000. Experience a taste of Mexico at La Fiesta Mexican Restaurant. We have the best food and drinks for the whole family to enjoy. See you tomorrow, amigos.
The city of West Frankfort is proud to support the students of Frankfort Community High School. The future is in the youth of our community. Go Redbirds. McDonald's, family owned and operated. Moreland McDonald's has 21 locations to serve you.
People's National Bank has been serving the communities of Southern Illinois since 1909. We believe that great customer service along with a wide variety of products will meet all of your banking needs. Come in and check us out today. People's National Bank, member FDIC. The West Frankfort Aquatic and Activity Center are proud partners of Redbirds Live. Come check out our heated indoor swimming pool, fitness center, and basketball gym. Stop by for a visit, or you can contact us at 618-937-1665.
Final score, 15-5 in 4.5 innings. Frankfort knocks off the Trico Pioneers, and the Redbirds get to 2-1 on the season. Thank you for tuning in here in the postgame. That's brought to you by IBI Management. And I will get you your final box score brought to you by the city of West Frankfort. We'll start for the Trico Pioneers. Down the lineup, Cranwetter, 0 of 2, scored a run, walked once. Cohn, 0 of 3. Dorner, Also 0 for 3 at the plate. Wilson 0 for 2 was able to reach and scored a run. Bowerman 0 for 1 also scored a run and walked once. McBride 1 run, 1 hit. Starkey 1 hit, 1 run driven in and also walked once. And Cobus, the 8 spot, 1 RBI driven in for him. And Jimenez 0 for 2 on the mound for Trico. It's Cobus who started. He went just 2/3 of an inning and gave up 7 runs, just 1 earned on 2 hits, struck out 1 and walked 3. Reliever for him was Cranowetter, inning in 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, none earned, 1K and 2 walks. Then McBride, an inning and a third, 5 runs, all earned, 2 hits allowed. He struck out 2 and walked 4. And Dillo was the final pitcher there for Trico, and he got 1 out, gave up 1 hit. For Frankfurt, through their lineup, leading off it was Joyner. He had 1 run scored, walked once, drove in 1 run. Patterson was 3 for 4, 3 runs driven in, scored 1 run. Mitten, 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, walked once. Duncan, 0 hits, but he was able to walk 3 times, have 1 RBI, and he scored twice. Will Scales, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 run driven in, and 1 walk. Webster, 2 runs scored, walked once, also drove in 1 run. Chris Samples had a nice 2 run single to get that Frankfurt lead up to 10. He was able to drive in those 2. He also scored a run earlier in the contest. Sneathen, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 runs driven in as well. And Bennett, he was able to get a hit, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 1 run. Scales with that double. Joyner and Scales also hit by a pitch. Bennett with 2 stolen bases. Frankfurt, a lot better in the field than they were Monday when we had their contest, and they were able to get it done here today. And pitching real quick, it was Odom and Patterson, 3 innings for Odom, 5 runs, 1 earned on 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 4 walks. And then Patterson, 2 runs of relief. Nobody reached on him, and he struck out 5 of the 6 hitters he faced. Um, Thoughts on today's Redbird victory?
I thought it was a pretty good win for sure. Especially going down 0-2 in the first half inning, come up to bat, and then you persevere, come through, and have a big response to that. Making it 7-2 one point. Keep adding on every inning, every time you get up to the play. I think that showed some it doesn't matter what score it is. We're still going to try to put runs on the board, and that's the um, that's the way we're going to play ball all year. We're not gonna let up or try to play a certain way. We're going to keep hammering you and try to put on runs and you know short game you.
Frankfurt gets it done, and let's give out a player of the game. That's going to be brought to you by Melissa Walton Shelter Insurance. I think it's pretty safe. We're going to go with Chase Patterson, who did it both sides of the ball today.
Yeah, I mean Chase had a very good game. It's hard not to give Chase the player of the game. Coming in and closing out the last 2 innings for the Redbirds. Looked really dominant on the mound, and especially he's one of our best pitchers we got. Opening day guy for sure, and coming in a different kind of spot that he'll probably be seeing more all year is it was really good to see him pitch well in a situations like that.
So Frankfurt gets the win, 15-5. We're waiting on head coach Tyson Smith. His Redbirds are now 2-1. We also mentioned softball Redbirds 3-0. JV's back in action tomorrow. They are 1-0 on the early season. Collective, I'll take that 6-1 start. A collective between your softball team and then your varsity and JV teams.
Oh yeah, definitely. Framer Sports looking really well. 5-1 combined record through the first week of baseball and softball, and that's a lot of upside in both programs.
Yeah, you got a JV team this year, and they're 1-0, and they got a nice win against a Vienna team that's their program's really really been on the rise the past handful of years, so that's a good win there. And it's fun beating up on them because we know a couple guys there, and we'll talk about it. Frankfurt's had some success against Vienna this year, and let's build off that. And the Redbirds have, overall just I think it's been a good week. A tough start day one on opening day, but 2-1. You'll take that a positive win percentage there, and we're getting Redbird head coach Tyson Smith joins us here in our post game with a 15-5 win in 5 innings. And Tyson, we thank you for joining us. And overall thoughts, not just today, but a good 2-1 week to start the year.
Yeah. First, I want to appreciate you guys and let you know that we really like that you guys are covering baseball here now. It's something this community's never really had. Um, I feel like we get more people involved in the sport and hold on to the interest of it. Yeah. This season's kind of went how the first few innings went for us. I feel like so far, uh, finding ways to win ball games, but a little shaky early on. Something we can tighten up, but it's little routine things that our guys are good enough to correct early here, not let it become a habit.
Defense has looked a lot better, especially these last two games compared to that first one we had on opening day. What was the message to the guys, the, you know, about the defense and what they needed to start doing better?
Yeah, well, our infield really is comprised of all upperclassmen, so they were already aware of the errors they were making and mistakes they had in the field. So um, there wasn't too much to really break down practice wise. It's just kind of grinding out and taking it pitch by pitch, play by play, and just making the routine plays. Really, our guys are more than capable of doing that all over the field, but especially our infield.
Coach, real quick, I want to focus on your pitching today. Chase Patterson did what you know, guys around the team know he can do, and he went out and had 2 solid innings where he struck out 5 of the 6 guys he faced. But I want to talk about Ethan Odom. He didn't have his stuff. He didn't have his command, but he still, he found a way to give your team a shot, and I thought that was really important where he limited the damage. When on the other side, basically was the same thing going on, and they could not do the same thing. It could have easily been a 15-15 game, but he got outs when he needed to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, since I've known Ethan and been able to coach him, I've really enjoyed his not only his work ethic but just kind of his mentality. It's something that we're slowly trying to implement here. But Odom's just a gamer. He's a competitor. Most of our guys are, but when he's on the bump, he's going to compete for you. He'll take it pitch by pitch, at bat by at bat. But when he gets into trouble, he's fine. He just got to lock back in and settle in, which he did. I mean, defense wasn't holding up as well as it should have, and especially to the level that it can. But it didn't affect him too much. He's yeah, like I said, he's just a competitor.
Yeah,
Same with Patty.
and the last thing, the one thing you really got to do to win ball games, especially at this level, is get on base and score runs. And you guys have really done that. Even the 3 runs, the other day against Carmi, you had a lot of guys on base. You left a lot on, but you had a lot on. Today, really quality at bats 1 through 9. But I really liked what you had at the bottom of your order. Even your 7, 8, 9 guys. If you got 7, 8, 9 guys like Sample, Sneathen, and Bennett doing what they did today,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be tough to keep you guys off the scoreboard. Real credit to some of them young guys down at the bottom.
Yeah, and that just kind of goes back to the competitiveness that I was talking about. A lot of these guys just they play hard and they want to win not for themselves, individually, but as a team. So we're finding out early here. We're young, a lot of inexperienced guys out here, but they're all competitors, and the more they work at bats, the longer our lineup gets.
Coach, thanks for your time. You're back JV tomorrow here at Bill McKee,
Mm-hmm.
11 o'clock first pitch. So come out and support your junior varsity team. They got them a nice 3-2 win over a good Vienna
Yeah.
program the other day. And we'll have coverage of JV down the road starting a week from tomorrow against Pinckneyville. Tomorrow they're in action against Cesar Valier. The varsity Redbirds back next Friday. We'll have the coverage here at Bill McKee Field against Chester. Coach, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for all that you're doing, covering all sports. I know this whole community appreciates it, so thank you guys.
Thanks again. That's head coach Tyson Smith. His varsity Redbirds come away with a 15-5 win over the Trico Pioneers to get to 2-1 on the year. And softball and baseball are really rocking and rolling right now. Quincy, final thoughts on today's contest?
It was a good game for the Redbirds. Still a lot of work to do, a lot of work to be done on defensive, offensive ends. There's once you get deep into the season, things will start looking better and start looking up. Especially you can keep playing this level of ball, keep getting better day by day. And like Coach said, you take it pitch by pitch, and you're gonna progress. These guys they want to win, and that's all you can ask for from a team is a team that's wanting to go out there and win games.
15-5. Frankfort knocks off Trico 2-1 on the season. The young Redbirds, great start to the year. After losing that first ball game, coming back 2 wins, they're back in action a week from today against Chester, which we will have that coverage. We thank you guys for tuning in to Redbird Baseball on Redbird